Full House wasn't just a sitcom. It was a place, a warm living room where laughter softened grief and where a broken family learned to become whole again. But the years beyond the credits were never scripted. In 2026, some beloved faces are still with us, older now, living quiet lives far from that San Francisco home, while others have already taken their final bow. Tonight, we look back with gratitude and honor the cast who turned comfort into a legacy. Jesse Katsopoulos. Jesse Katsopoulos walked into Full House like a rock and roll fantasy. Leather jacket, perfect hair, and that Elvis-loving swagger that made the Tanner house feel instantly cooler. John Stamos, born August 19, 1963, was 24 when he first played Jesse in 1987. And what made his performance matter is how he let the character grow. Jesse could have stayed a charming bachelor forever, but Stamos gave him layers, loyalty, vulnerability, and a tenderness that slowly replaced the ego. His bond with the girls, especially Michelle, became one of the show's emotional anchors. Proof that fatherhood isn't only biological, it's the daily choice to show up. Then came Becky, marriage and twins. Storylines that pushed Jesse from the fun uncle into a real adult without losing the humor. Off-screen, Stamos built a career that moved between television, comedy, drama, and music, keeping his public image polished while still honoring the role that defined a generation's childhood. In 2026, John Stamos is 63, and when you rewatch Jesse now, the nostalgia isn't only the jokes, it's the feeling that people can change, soften, and still keep their spark. DJ Tanner. DJ Tanner was the steady center of the girls, responsible, caring, and often forced to grow up faster than she should have after losing her mom. Candace Cameron Bure, born April 6, 1976, was only 11 when she began the role in 1987, and her performance mattered because she made DJ feel like a real older sister. Equal parts comfort and pressure. DJ wasn't perfect. She had crushes, mistakes, insecurities, but she kept trying to be the strong one, and viewers recognized that quiet burden. The show's warmth depends on characters like DJ, who hold the emotional logic together while everyone else delivers punchlines. Bure played her with sincerity that never asked for applause, letting the audience feel the sweetness and the strain of being a child in a household that needed her to act like an adult. In later years, she remained active in television and family-focused projects, becoming a familiar face to audiences who grew up with her. In 2026, Candace Cameron Bure is 50, and DJ remains a portrait of resilience, the girl who learned to smile through loss and still helped make that house feel like home. Joey Gladstone. Joey Gladstone was comedy with a heart. Cartoon voices, goofy bits, and the kind of childlike warmth that made grief easier to carry. Dave Coulier, born September 21, 1959, was 28 when he took on Joey in 1987. And what made his performance matter is that he never played Joey as just the clown. Under the impressions and slapstick was genuine devotion. Danny's best friend who didn't merely visit, he moved in. He stayed and helped raise 3 girls as if love were a responsibility he welcomed. Joey's humor wasn't meant to steal scenes. It was meant to keep the room from breaking when life got heavy. Coulier's timing made kids laugh, but his softness made parents trust him because he treated family as a real commitment, not a sitcom setup. Off-screen, Coulier continued working in comedy, television, and voice acting. One of those entertainers whose career is built less on scandal than on steady work and audience affection. In 2026, Dave Coulier is 67, and rewatching Joey now feels like returning to an old kind of comfort. Laughter that never mocked pain, only tried to lift it. Kimmy Gibbler. Kimmy Gibbler was chaos at the door. Loud outfits, louder confidence, and a personality too big to fit inside the Tanner rules. Andrea Barber, born July 3, 1976, was 11 when she began playing Kimmy in 1987, and her performance mattered because Kimmy could have been a one-note joke. Barber made her loyal. Under the weirdness was a best friend who always showed up, even when the family teased her, even when she didn't fit. That resilience is part of why audiences remember Kimmy with affection. She refused to shrink herself to be accepted, and over time, the house accepted her anyway. Kimmy also added something essential to the show's world building: She made DJ's life feel like real adolescence because teens don't grow up only inside family. They grow up in friendships that are messy, loud, and sometimes awkwardly unconditional. Barber later stepped away for a period, then returned to the public eye through franchise work and fan events, proof that certain characters never truly leave pop culture. In 2026, Andrea Barber is 50, and Kimmy remains a reminder that being too much can still be lovable, especially when your heart is in the right place. Danny Tanner. Danny Tanner was the emotional spine of Full House, a widowed father trying to stay gentle while holding three girls together with equal parts structure, love, and corny dad jokes. Bob Saget, born May 17, 1956, was 31 when he began the role in 1987, and his performance mattered because it kept the show honest. The comedy worked because Danny's love felt real. He cleaned obsessively, yes, but underneath that neatness was grief, fear, and the quiet determination to build a safe home after loss. Saget played Danny as a man who needed his friends not just for childcare, but for survival, turning the household into a model of chosen family long before the phrase became common. Off-screen, Saget's career included stand-up that was far edgier than the show's tone. Yet he remained beloved for the warmth he projected as Danny. He passed away on January 9th, 2022 at 65. And rewatching him now lands differently. The dad speeches feel softer, the hugs feel heavier, and the comfort feels sharper, because the man who played America's TV father is now part of the memory he helped create. Becky Katsopoulos. Becky Katsopoulos brought balance to the Tanner home. Intelligent, calm, and strong enough to meet Jesse's swagger without being swallowed by it. Lori Loughlin, born July 28, 1964, was 24 when she joined the series in 1988. And her performance mattered because Becky expanded the show's idea of family. She wasn't only a love interest, she became an anchor, partner, wife, mother, and a steady adult voice in a house full of chaos. Loughlin played Becky with warmth and competence, making the romance with Jesse feel like growth rather than fantasy. Their relationship added one of the show's most lasting emotional arcs. Two people learning how to build a life, not just share scenes. Off-screen, Loughlin's public image became complicated later in life, and that contrast between wholesome memory and real-world headlines changed how some viewers revisit her work. Yet, the performance itself remains what it always was, a calm presence that helped the show feel stable. In 2026, Lori Loughlin is 62, and Becky remains a reminder that sitcom love stories work best when the characters feel like real adults choosing each other day after day. Stephanie Tanner. Stephanie Tanner was the show's spark, bold, funny, and secretly the most emotionally perceptive kid in the Tanner house. Jodie Sweetin, born January 19, 1982, was just 5 when she began playing Stephanie in 1987. And what made her performance matter is that she grew up on camera without losing the character's inner truth. Stephanie's "how rude" became a catchphrase, but beneath the comedy was a child learning how to live with grief, rivalry, and the strange pressure of being the middle one. Sweetin gave Stephanie a real childhood texture, confidence that sometimes cracked, bravado that sometimes hid hurt, and moments of tenderness that turned sitcom scenes into something quietly personal. As the series matured, Stephanie's storylines did too, shifting from playground comedy to deeper coming-of-age beats. And Sweetin met that shift with sincerity that never felt manufactured. Off-screen, her life included public struggles and a hard-won recovery journey that changed how many fans rewatch the show. The laughter stays, but the resilience feels louder. In 2026, Jodie Sweetin is 44, and Stephanie remains a reminder that the funniest kid in the room is often the one using humor to survive until she's strong enough to stand without it. Steve Hale. Steve Hale was teenage sweetness with sitcom timing, DJ's high school boyfriend who brought young love into the Tanner house without turning it into melodrama. Scott Weinger, born October 5, 1975, was 15 when he first appeared as Steve in 1991. And what made his performance matter is warmth. Steve was goofy, hungry, sometimes clueless, yet always sincere. In a show built on family bonds, Steve, gave DJ a storyline outside the living room. The awkwardness of first romance, the joy of being chosen, the heartbreak of growing up and changing. Weinger played Steve like a real teenager, trying hard, messing up, recovering with a smile. So, the relationship felt like something viewers actually lived through, not just watched. Off-screen, Weinger's career became a fascinating dual identity, actor to audiences, and also a voice tied to childhood nostalgia for millions through Disney animation. That kind of longevity is rare, and it fits the Full House theme perfectly. Comfort that keeps following you. In 2026, Scott Weinger is 51, and Steve remains a reminder of the show's gentler side. Young love that wasn't perfect, just honest. Like a first chapter, you remember even after life writes many more. Supporting characters. Teddy brought youthful chaos into the Tanner universe. Mischief with a grin. The kind of kid energy that turns a calm moment into a new problem. Taj Mowry, born May 17, 1986, was 5 when he played Teddy in the early 90s. And what made his presence matter is that he expanded the show's neighborhood family. Sitcoms thrive when the world outside the main house feels alive, and Teddy added that sense of community. Siblings, visitors, kids who bounce in and out with their own personalities and trouble. Mowry's natural child actor ease made Teddy feel like a real little brother. Playful, fearless, and sometimes too confident for his own good. His scenes brought lighter, kid-centered humor that matched Michelle's world, keeping the show balanced as the older characters moved into more grown-up storylines. Off-screen, Mowry continued building a strong career across television and voice work, proving he wasn't just a cute cameo. He was a performer with staying power. In 2026, Taj Mowry is 40, and Teddy remains a small but memorable reminder that Full House wasn't only about the main cast. It was about a whole orbit of kids growing up in the warm spill of the Tanner living room. Growth and relationships. Viper arrived with the cool kid sheen of the mid-90s, street smart, relaxed, and built to contrast the Tanner house's wholesome center. David Lipper, born February 17, 1974, was 20 when he played Viper in 1994. And what made his performance matter is that he helped the show age with its audience. As the original girls grew up, Full House needed a wider teen world, friends, hangouts, and that slightly rebellious flavor of adolescence. Viper delivered it without tipping the show into cynicism. He wasn't a threat. He was a vibe, someone who made the teenage scenes feel current for the era while still fitting the series' gentle moral compass. Lipper played him with easy charisma, creating a character who could be cool without being cruel, and that's why he remains fondly remembered rather than forgotten. Off-screen, Lipper kept working in entertainment in front of and behind the camera, shaping projects beyond the one-role fans still quote. In 2026, David Lipper is 52, and Viper remains a snapshot of Full House's later season evolution. The moment the show let a little edge into the room without ever losing the warmth that made it home. Vicki Larson brought a softer adult romance into Full House, the kind that felt less like teenage fantasy and more like real-life learning how to compromise. Gail Edwards, born September 27, 1952, was 39 when she played Vicki in 1991. And her performance mattered because she grounded Jesse's storyline in maturity. Vicki wasn't dazzled by hair and swagger. She had her own standards, her own life, and her own quiet strength. That dynamic gave Jesse something important, the chance to grow beyond the cool uncle persona and face what commitment actually costs. Edwards played Vicki with warmth and steadiness, creating a love interest who didn't exist to decorate a scene. She existed to challenge a character. And when the relationship didn't land in a tidy fairy tale ending, it felt strangely honest for a comfort sitcom. Sometimes love is real and still not the final chapter. Off-screen, Edwards' career continued across television and performance work, building a reputation for solid human presence. In 2026, Gail Edwards is 74, and Vicki remains a reminder that Full House could do more than hugs and punchlines. It could show adulthood's quieter truths, where the hardest part of love is timing. New Generation and Friends, Nikki Katsopoulos helped reshape the Tanner house by adding a new generation, small laughter, twin chaos, and the feeling that the family's story keeps expanding. Blake Tuomi Wilhoit, born November 29, 1990, was 2 when he began playing Nikki in 1992. And his role mattered because the twins turned Jesse and Becky into full-time parents, not just romantic sitcom figures. Nikki and Alex weren't merely cute additions. They shifted the household's rhythm, creating storylines about responsibility, patience, and the comedy of adults realizing life is no longer about them. As with many child roles, the magic was simplicity. The presence of real toddlers changed the tone of scenes, making the home feel lived in rather than staged. Off-screen, Blake chose a life far from celebrity spotlight, stepping away from acting and building a more private adult identity, something many former child actors never get the chance to do cleanly. In 2026, Blake Tuomi Wilhoit is 36, and Nikki remains a soft nostalgia trigger, proof that in Full House, the family didn't just heal. Its love kept multiplying until the house felt too small to hold it all. Denise Fraser brought fresh energy and real-world texture into Michelle's world. Confident, sassy, and instantly believable as a childhood friend you'd meet on the playground. Journey Smollett, born October 1st, 1986, was 6 when she appeared as Denise in 1992, and her role mattered because it added diversity and broadened the show's sense of community. In a sitcom built on home, friendship is part of home too, and Denise helped make Michelle's childhood feel fuller than just family scenes. Smollett's early screen presence stood out. Bright eyes, strong timing, and a natural confidence that hinted at the performer she would become. Off-screen, her career grew into something far bigger than a guest role, building respect through dramatic performances and a reputation for depth that many child actors never achieve. That contrast makes her Full House appearance especially interesting to revisit. You're watching an early spark before the world understood how far it would travel. In 2026, Journey Smollett is 40, and Denise remains a reminder that even small roles can leave an imprint, because sometimes a brief friendship on screen becomes part of how we remember our own childhoods. The Tanner Orbit. Irene Katsopoulos brought family history into the room. The mother who explains Jesse without needing flashbacks, teasing him with the kind of affectionate honesty only a parent can deliver. Yvonne Wilder, born September 21st, 1937, was 51 when she played Irene in 1988, and her performance mattered because it deepened the show's chosen family theme by reminding us that the characters had real roots. Irene's appearances were short, but they carried warmth and texture, the sense of a larger family tree beyond the Tanner living room, and the proof that Jesse's bravado came from somewhere: love, upbringing, and the playful pressure of being known too well. Wilder played Irene with lively charm, never overstaying her welcome, leaving behind the feeling of a real mom dropping by, stirring the pot just enough, then going home smiling. Off-screen, Wilder had a long career across television and film, part of that generation of working performers who could lift a scene with ease. She passed away in 2021 at 84, and rewatching her now feels like seeing the show's hidden strength. Not just the main cast, but the guest stars who made the world feel authentic. Like family really did extend beyond the frame. Mr. Strobridge was the classic school authority figure, stern, no nonsense, and perfectly designed to clash with the Tanner kids' chaos. Richard Paul, born June 6, 1940, was 48 when he played the principal in 1988. And his performance mattered because it brought a believable outside world into the sitcom. Full House works best when the warm home meets real consequences. School rules, discipline, embarrassment, and the awkward lesson of learning how to behave when your dad isn't there to give a speech at the end. Paul played Strobridge with strict clarity, but with just enough humanity to keep him from becoming a cartoon villain. He felt like a principal you might actually remember. Intimidating, frustrating, and when you look back, probably trying to keep the building from falling apart. His presence added structure to the girls' growing up years, showing that family life doesn't happen in a vacuum. It happens in hallways, classrooms, and the moments kids learn who they are outside the home. Richard Paul passed away in 1998 at 58, and his role remains a small but important note in the series world. A reminder that growing up requires more than love. it requires boundaries too, even when they come with a frown. Michelle Tanner. Michelle Tanner became the show's beating heart. The tiny voice, the innocent confidence, the catchphrases that turned into childhood memory for an entire generation. Ashley Olsen, born June 13, 1986, was only one when she began sharing the role in 1987, and her presence mattered because Michelle wasn't just cute, she was the emotional glue of the household. In a home built from loss, Michelle represented new life, laughter that arrived naturally, comfort that didn't need explanation, and the kind of sweetness that softened even the toughest adults in the room. As Michelle grew, the character became more mischievous and self-assured, and the Olsens' calm ease made it believable, like the Tanner house raised a real child, not a sitcom prop. Off-screen, Ashley's life moved far beyond television fame, shifting into fashion and business success with a kind of privacy that child stars rarely get to reclaim. In 2026, Ashley Olsen is 40, and Michelle remains a time capsule of early childhood on TV. Proof that sometimes a character doesn't need long speeches to become immortal. She only needs to make you feel safe the way home is supposed to. Mary-Kate Olsen shared Michelle Tanner the way childhood itself is shared. Half memory, half magic. Impossible to separate from the feeling of the era. Born June 13, 1986, she was one when she began the role in 1987. And what made her work matter is that Michelle grew into more than the baby of the house. She became a symbol of how the Tanner family healed. A child who never knew the mother the audience mourned, yet still carried the warmth that made the household whole. Michelle's confidence, her ability to negotiate with adults, charm her way out of trouble, and still melt into a hug when the world felt big, became a core flavor of Full House. The Olsens' performances worked because they felt effortless, like real-life toddler moods captured at the perfect angle, stubborn one second, angelic the next. Off-screen, Mary-Kate's story followed a different path than most child actors, leaving acting behind and building a powerful fashion identity that reshaped how the public saw her. In 2026, Mary-Kate Olsen is 40, and Michelle remains one of television's most enduring childhood portraits because she represents the simplest fantasy we all miss. A house full of love, where someone always comes when you call. Final legacy. As the lights dim in the Tanner living room, what remains isn't just nostalgia. It's the feeling that this show understood something simple and true. A family isn't defined by how it begins, but by who stays when life gets hard. In 2026, some of these beloved faces are still with us, older now, living decades beyond San Francisco. Others are gone, but never truly absent, because their laughter still lives in every rerun, waiting like a familiar porch light in the window. If this tribute brought you comfort tonight, please like, subscribe, and share the moment that still holds your heart.